I don't do it at all. This is my angle with my course, which I wasn't really playing up enough, but somebody had said like, oh my god, somebody, I think it was, Brendan Hufford, the SEO guy. And he was saying that like, you say, how to get traffic via Google without building backlinks. Like that is such a powerful sentence, like that could sell somebody. And I was like, oh yeah, 'cause that's exactly what I in my course. I'm like, I don't do it because I used to. I did it. I used to have a giant spreadsheet and I used to like create articles and send them and get backlinks and like email a bunch of like people with resource pages and try to get links. And it's excruciating. I don't want to be that guy. Like I don't want to be that company that sends that email. And then, you can see on Twitter, like, look, another person asking me for a link. Like this is some bullshit. I don't want to be that. I want to get links naturally. And the way you do it, I think, is by creating really great content, which also happens to work really well for ranking in Google. Here's the thing. Back in the day, backlinks were votes. That's what they were. But now they're not votes. You can go on Ahrefs. You can look at, the top SERPs and you can see that like some of the top people have like 0 backlinks, but like 2 people below them have like thousands. And I go, well, what is that? Why is that the case? And it's because Google is a friggin' machine AI robot that's like reading your page and going, this is pretty good. We're going to give it a boost. And obviously my site's established, but Brew Cabin wasn't. Brew Cabin started and it was immediately ranking because it's just like fast. The content's really in depth. It's answering the questions that people are searching for. Like it just solves all those problems. And I thought, well, I do have backlinks. They happen because somebody Googles something because they're looking for an answer. They may own a website. They find the answer. Like, holy crap, this website's awesome. Oh, I talked about it. Hey, I wrote this article about, how to get better mouthfeel in your beer. And I found this article on Brew Cabin and it was awesome. Backlink. And probably the best backlink I could ever get. Sure. And I only need a handful of them to start ranking. So I understand that my way is slower. Like my way is just it's slower and it's harder because I've had this thought. I really don't want to do it, but it's just like eating away at me. I want to do an experiment on Money Lab. That's the backlink building experiment. Like, what if and I don't know how to like design the experiment so that it's isolated and the variables work. But what if I were to do traditional backlink building where I, do outreach and I have somebody just like boom, boom, just like trying to get and just count them, just try to get as many good backlinks as possible versus a site that doesn't have backlinks and see which one ranks. I don't know how to do that, but I think that my hypothesis is that the site that does the backlink building will rank faster, but I don't know how long it stays. So I don't know if it has the same staying power as the other one. My whole thing is like, I just don't want to do that other thing. Like, I just don't want to pay somebody or myself to go and do that thing. And it turns out I don't have to because I have proof 3 or 4 times that I don't have to. So I'm like, okay, yes, it took me a long time to get here, but I'm still here and I'm still earning money and I still have a lot of traffic.
Right.
So that's just, it's very anecdotal, but I mean, like,
you have 4 cases.
Yeah, 4 cases of it sure. Working. And so I'm like, and I didn't have to do that. So I don't have to be that guy, which is nice.
Cool. So shout out to Jason, who I think emailed both of us and he was like, ask him what he thinks about link building because he knows we are diametrically opposed.
Right.
So my stance is, and I mean, no, links matter. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah. So, and you're like, hey, I just want him to come naturally, and you don't like that.
I'm a more organic builder. That's
sure.
It. Yeah.
So my hypothesis to you is, all right, let's say someone writes equally, good content,
yes.
maybe even a little bit better. Maybe they do a YouTube video to accompany it, right? They're hitting it at both angles, and they do just a little bit of outreach. That's totally natural. Maybe they're on a couple podcasts.
Sure, right.
And then they have a handful of links. Maybe they get a little referral traffic because they took the time. So
right.
Are you like, hey, I don't even think like I want to do that? Or
my approach to that would be like, whatever time or effort I put into link building, I would just put it into those other things you mentioned. I would be like, I'll do another video. I'll do, more. I'll make my content better.
Yeah.
I'll use it to make my site faster, like all of these things that end up going into ranking that like, because my whole thing is, yeah, I'm not looking for short-term gains. I'm looking for long-term stability. And
And
and and so and like I said, again, anecdotally, so
sure.
far it's been like, okay, like I do have a ton of backlinks. Like Swim University has a ton of backlinks, but they happen organically.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, now I'm locked. Like now I'm in. It's like, okay, this site's been around, it's established, it's been producing good content all these years. It's got a very good, healthy profile of backlinks. I'm not saying that I'm untouchable, but I do feel like it takes a lot of effort for somebody to get to where I am. But and like I said about competition earlier, it's like they probably won't last because it took me 15 years. I'm still doing this and I'm still growing every single year, not by leaps and bounds, but still growing. And these people are like coming up and I'm just like watching them for a year and then they kind of disappear.
Yep.
Because it's like, it's tough. And I always compare it, and not to like derail the backlink conversation, but like I always compare this world to going to high school. And it's like, it takes 4 years, right? You got to be a freshman. You mess up, you get beat up, whatever it is. You get into sophomore year, it gets you get a little more friends, it gets a little cooler. We all get each other now. Junior year, senior year, you're the king, you're doing it. And then you're like, 4 years, okay, I got a good website, I'm making good money. And then you hit college and it starts all over again. And you're back to where you were for some unknown reason, or your brain goes like, well, I need to go bigger and badder. And it's like, well, now I feel like I'm starting from scratch again. And it's just like a 4-year cycle of growth. And I think if you can just like be that kid who just gets good grades, has a few good friends, a core group of people, and you do right by the teachers, Google, and the principal, like you're going to be incredibly successful, and you're not going to have this roller coaster ride. It's just going to be this nice, smooth upwards ride, which is kind of like I don't like this. This is turmoil. This is stressful. And I know a lot of my friends go through this. It's like, oh, my site's up one day, it's down the next day. Oh my God. Like, and it's because you're paying attention to all these things. And it's like, just do this.
Slow.
You'll get there.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. We could probably have a whole other backlink conversation.
Sure.
But one seed of an idea to put in your head, there's a guy named Kyle Roof, really smart SEO. I interviewed him, but he does like experiments that are controlled and they need to be repeatable and reversible. So he will test things independently on like, I think 5 different pages. So he can isolate the variables. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of sort of planning.
Right, yeah.
But the cool part is the reverse test. So he'll put it, whatever thing he's testing on 5 pages.
Yeah.
And then he'll change it on 1 to see if that one reacted how he expected or what happens at all.
Right.
And then he'll do it somewhere else, right? On 5 pages, but he'll do it 4 times and then leave out the 1. So like I said, reversible, it needs to be repeatable, scientific method,
That's
awesome. all the shit.
Yes.
And it's really provable.
Yeah, I will say that on Money Lab, I make it very clear, like, I do not follow the scientific method. It is just really me going, like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm just going to barrel my way through it, and I'm just going to tell you what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to kind of report back. And that's, like, what I'm doing now, which is, and I'm getting so much pushback on this idea, but there's this idea that, like, I like keywords at low competition. It's like, get in there, work your way up. That's certainly one avenue. Does that work in podcasting? Can you enter a very low competition space and gain an audience on a medium that really doesn't have a good discoverable area? And could you make more money on a podcast or could you see traction if you're in a low competition area? And so I have this like plan to do it. And truthfully, I don't think it's going to work, but but if it does, I'm like, holy crap, I found something like really interesting. And it may not, and even if it doesn't work like gangbusters, still kind of interesting. It's like, whoa, that's an untapped sort of like little area. It's not going to work for everybody, but it's just still interesting.
Yeah. Super interesting.
But not scientific. Just like,
yeah,
I'm going to try this thing and report back and see what happens.
And it's just for entertainment purposes only.
Pretty much. Yeah. For the most, yes, it is. And it's also like, well, if it works, good for me because my business grows. If it doesn't, weren't you entertained? Aren't you all entertained?
Yeah. And the cool part, I was chatting with one of my friends doing some online stuff as
Yeah.
well. And he's like, yeah, if it works, then great. We could talk about that. Maybe sell some affiliate products or whatever.
Right.
Or if it doesn't, then, well, that's a hell of a story to talk about.
It works either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.